Welcome to the fourth meeting of the BRSCC Toyo Tires Porsche Championship. We have the largest grid of the season so far, taking on the Grand Prix circuit here today at Donington Park. Ed Hayes is currently at the top of the Boxers Championship, whilst Adam Croft is leading the 924s, so they are both here to extend their advantage this weekend. I'm now going to hand you over to Richard, who's going to run you through the highlights of Zandvoort and also the current standings in the championship.
Thanks, Amber. This year's overseas outing was at Zandvoort in Holland, and as ever there was some great racing from both classes. In the Boxsters, Ed Hayes and Richard Avery battled hard in race one. Hayes ultimately coming through to take his second win on the bounce and his second win of the season. Race two saw the most challenging conditions of the weekend. The heavens had opened and it caught out several drivers. Richard Avery was up front once again. Adam Southgate was through and into the lead, but sadly suffered the spin and he winds up in the gravel. Avery continues in the lead, but problems for Southgate. He wound up beached. Hayes and Avery having renewed their competition. Hayes heading towards the flag and taking the win once again, with Nick Hull taking third place. The reverse grid race started off in the dry, and Gary Lawrence leading from Jason Flegg in the early stages. Richard Avery soon came through, was up into third place. Jason Flegg in the mix once again. Adam Southgate came through again, but once again the conditions worsened later on in the race and caused all sorts of problems for the drivers. So it was going to be survival of the fittest here at Zandvoort, the last race. Visibility was nil for some drivers, and of course that took its toll on the race as well. Through the monsoon conditions at the end came Richard Avery. He took his first win of the season. Adam Southgate in second, and Nick Hull proving to be Mr. Consistency here with another third place. The 924s came out in force as well over the weekend and were clearly enjoying the circuit. Some four-wide action at times, at least when it was dry. And it was Adam Croft who came through to take the first win of the year. He punches the air with delight. Simon Hawksley in second position. Race two, this was where the rain came down for the first time, and as you would expect in the 924s as well, a few casualties. Philip Waters getting caught out there. It caught out Adam Croft too and allowed Alistair Kirkham and Simon Hawksley to come through. Hawksley in the number 2 car had a Dutch wet pirouette as well, and there were problems right the way down the order. Alfred Piesinger being collected by Phil Waters, and they would try and get back on. The win though would go to Alistair Kirkham, closing up the gap on the championship leader Adam Croft. Race 3 started in the dry once again, and it proved to be a great battle with Kirkham and Croft very much engaged in battle. Croft holding the upper hand in the early stages, but then of course, as we saw in the Boxsters, the rain came down and around went Adam Croft, who was still going to lead with his championship lead intact, but Alistair Kirkham was going to come through for that third race win, with Philip Waters taking second place. So coming to Donington, championship looks like this. Ed Hayes leading the Boxsters from Richard Avery, just 4 points in it. 1 point between Avery and Adam Southgate, then Gary Lawrence, Nick Hull and Jason Flegg in 6. In the 924s, Adam Croft 10 points clear of Alistair Kirkham, then Simon Hawksley, Philip Waters, Carl Rossin and Nizar El Chamar in 6. So they're the point standings after Zandvoort. Clearly a good meeting for Nick Hull with 2 podia. We took the time to talk to him before racing here at Donington Park.
Nick, a brilliant start to the season. Obviously we are in the middle of our season now.
Yeah, so we're 4 rounds in, and so far it's going really well. Yeah, we've had some great races so far. We've had a lot of different people on the podium, so it's so far it's great. Yeah.
And also you've just been abroad in Holland.
Yeah, we had a round in Zandvoort, our yearly trip abroad, and again fabulous racing. Everybody that went had such a good time. The camaraderie over there as well, from a point of view of as well as the racing, was just great fun. It was a funny weekend. We had mixed weather, which benefited me. I got two nice thirds out in the rain, so I had a great weekend. But yeah, great fun out there. It was really seriously good fun. It's great. The championship's growing. We've had another couple of people interested in it this weekend as well, so possibly another couple of drivers. We've got some, a few people back in it that were in it earlier on in the year. So all good. It's shaping up to be a great championship again.
Excellent. And do you think the popularity could be because of all the sponsors you do have?
I think it helps, and I think we've got Toyo back on board this year again, who will been stellar for us all year. Obviously, we've got Tony Tires, Tony McWinsky, doing the tyre support for Toyo. We've got Jasmine Porsche again, which they've been brilliant, and I think from benefit, it's a great benefit to the drivers, as we found out in this last race. They've sold quite a lot of parts, and likewise Foosh. We've got Foosh Oils on board again. All three sponsors have been on board for the last 2 or 3 years as a minimum, so which enables us to get TV, and obviously helps the drivers promote their sponsors. So yeah, it really works. It's really good fun to be in this championship. The drivers, we've had there's obviously, when it gets out there and we're on the track, we are all trying, but we have such a lot of good fun, and everyone has a lot of respect for each other. So it's a great championship to be in.
Cars coming into line here at Donington Park for the 9th race of the Toyo Tires BRSCC Porsche Championship. The grid looks like this. Adam Southgate starts on pole with Ed Hayes, then James Coleman and Gary Lawrence. Gary Goodwin and Richard Avery row 3, Nick Hull and Andy Hack next, then Jason Flegg and John Cleland. Mark Marshall followed by Jason Yates, Angus Archer, 924 pole to championship leader Adam Croft. Alistair Kirkham and Alfred Piesinger from Philip Waters, David Jones, then Carl Rossin, Nizar El-Chamar, Linda Warren, Anthony McVinsky, Richard Matthews and Jamie Callender. Now, problems sadly for Nizar El-Chamar in qualifying, and looks like problems too for Anthony McVinsky in the 27 machine, but the rest of them are on the grid and ready for lights out. Adam Southgate gets away well, the white car with the ready orange flashes. It's Ed Hayes in 77 on the outside. Gary Lawrence goes up into 3rd position. The 00 is James Coleman in black and green. Richard Avery goes round the outside. Andy Hack in the 23. Gary Goodwin is on the inside. Gary celebrating his 40th birthday today, so he'll be hoping for a decent result here in the black and white car. And they come down the Craner curves for the first time. A very good set of driving, I think, down there. Great driving standards, no problems at all, either round Redgate or indeed down the Craners for the first time and through the old hairpin. Nick Hull's making up position. Andy Hack chasing Nick Hull, heading up towards Schwantz. Left-hander at Schwantz. They'll go round into the right-hander at McLean's. So out front, Adam Southgate is starting to pull out. Jason Flegg back in the number 4, looks at the inside of the birthday boy, and he's got the inside line going into the corner. He was actually a little bit too far back. Goodwin's having a nibble there at James Coleman, who qualified well in 3rd position, so good result for him. But Adam Southgate coming down the exhibition straight, and they're running on the Grand Prix loop here today. Southgate 3rd in the championship. Just a reminder of those championship points for you. Hayes is the leader of the championship, 4 points clear of Richard Avery. And then in 3rd place, it's Adam Southgate with 140. So he's only 1 point behind Richard Avery. If he beats Avery in this race, he'll take 2nd position in the championship. It is slightly more complicated because the guys have drop scores that they have to deal with. But we'll try and keep tabs on that for you as the season continues. David Jones in number 8, chasing Philip Waters, and goes off the track and onto the grass. I don't think he was forced off. Carl Rossin goes through, as does Alfred Piesinger. And out front, I think it's Adam Croft who is leading. Indeed it is, the red and black 924. But we go back to Andy Hack in the 23 car, up ahead of James Coleman now. A wide line from Gary Goodwin, who disappears off on the grass, comes back on. And Hack here, who took a fine 2nd position at Rockingham. Good to see him back. Missed Zandvoort, wasn't at Alton Park. And let's hope we can get him for the rest of the season as a regular. Next time out, we're at Cadwell Park. Another triple header, double header at Brands Hatch. Then it's Croft, We wind up at Silverstone. These are the two guys fighting it out in the 924s. Adam Croft there, but Alistair Kirkham looks down the inside. Croft, the championship leader by 10 points. Kirkham needs to start banging in some more wins. And he takes the lead, coming down through the Craner curves. Alistair Kirkham leads. Adam Croft, who's been absolutely superb this year in the 924, started his career in those. And as we've mentioned before on the programme, taking a step back from the Boxsters for this season at least, and he's proved that he's really on the case. He's got the ability to win races, and I guess ultimately to take the 924 title. It's a very, very closely fought class. We haven't got any production Boxsters again this weekend, and that's the intermediary class between the 924s and the full fat or the full race spec Boxsters. Now Croft's got back in front, so Adam Croft, but goes wide. Now, has he had too much speed into the hairpin there? And Kirkham's looking up. Phil Waters is there. Alfred Piesinger in 4th place in class. And the safety car joins the circuit. So we've got the safety car, which is off. Now, I gather this is because Richard Matthews is in retirement. So Richard Matthews is somewhere stranded, and they'll have to sort him out. So Richard Matthews, sadly, there he is, the 47 car, qualified in 10th position in the 924s, being pushed away. So the safety car will come in once Richard's recovered, and we'll pick up with the race again after this break. Welcome back to Donington Park. Safety car duty is now complete, and the cars are coming around to take the green flag. This is the hairpin at Goddard's, which brings them back onto the main straight. The yellow flag still being waved, but will be withdrawn at the start-finish line, which they are. And continuing in the lead is Adam Southgate. Ed Hayes in light blue and black second, followed by the predominantly blue with the white and red stripes of Gary Lawrence. Then Richard Avery, Andy Hack in 23, followed by James Coleman, and then we've got Jason Flegg. So it's a good restart by the race leader, Adam Southgate. Adam, who has thus far won 2 races this year, was a race winner last year, took a podium in the 3rd race at Rockingham 2, 4th position in the 1st race at Zandvoort, followed by that retirement that we saw in the highlights montage at the start of the programme, and 2nd position in the reverse grid race. This is the view from Andy Hack, all over the back of Richard Avery. You've got some blue skies, a little bit of light cloud cover here. Perfect conditions for racing, unlike Donington Park. Hack having a look. This is the straight going up into Coppice. You can see here it's a rise up into Coppice. If someone's got problems at Coppice, you can't see it, and you have very heavily reliant on the marshal signals there. So it's a blind corner, and these guys dealing with it well. And out front, Ed Hayes still trying to hunt down Adam Southgate, but Andy Hack's got the inside line for the Fogarty S's. James Coleman will mount the pressure again, though. He's got the outside line here, which is going to be difficult coming into the hairpin. But having said that, he's got the line. Is he going to cut across in the TF? No, I'll tell you what, Andy Hack doesn't want any of that and grabs the position, but runs wide in the orange car on the exit. And James Coleman goes back through, reclaims the position. Really good dice between those two. We've got Nick Hull behind them. So all running well at the moment. The race is incidentally timed out here, BRSCC style, at 20 minutes. So the safety car will have eaten into that a little bit as we look at Alistair Kirkham and the number 18, Alfred Piesinger, followed by Carl Rossin. So Adam Southgate making progress through the field. So too the back marker traffic. So too is Ed Hayes. That was Jason Yates, incidentally, that they just passed. And Adam Croft coming down under pressure here from Phil Waters on the outside line. Crofty on the inside. Philip Waters is on the outside line. Great race between these lead 924s. Mark Marshall in the Boxster is directly behind them. But a good scrap between these two 924s, and it looks like Crofty has got the better at the moment. And so we've got Marshall next up, but Waters is coming through and takes the lead at the old hairpin, runs wide. This is where Croft might get a bit more momentum and take him along the straight at Starkey's. Well, we're going to have to rejoin that battle a little bit later on, but look at the battle we've got for the overall lead. Adam Southgate is in the lead at the moment, but Ed Hayes is going to dive up the inside. Blue flag being waved for the back mark at 9.24. Hayes is on the outside line for the next corner, so Southgate in theory has got the racing line into the turn and consolidates the lead, but certainly it was a good try there by Ed Hayes, who wants to grab another win. Andy Hack takes a spin. He's going to rejoin. Nick Hull nips through. Then we've got James Coleman back with the leaders in the 924s. Philip Waters in car 15 has got the race lead, but Adam Croft is coming up and having a look at the inside line. Crofty's got the inside line as they come into the Melbourne hairpin, but now goes back to the outside. He might fancy a run on the way through. We've got Alistair Kirkham running in third place. Waters looked like he was not as quick out of the corner perhaps as Croft was going to be. Again, we're going to have to come back to that, but we need to focus everywhere in this race. And of course the overall lead still with Adam Southgate, who comes out of Goddard's and down the Wheatcroft straight for the last time into Redgate. You can see a gap back to Gary Lawrence, who's running in third position. Gary Lawrence looking to pick up, and he's a regular podium finisher, is Gary Lawrence. And here come the 924s, and Alistair Kirkham, right of shot, has got in the mix as well. Crofty's down to third. Kirkham's looking at the outside. Philip Waters clearly hung on to the lead. We've got Alfred Piesinger in fourth place. It is a four-way fight for the lead in the 924s, and never ever say that there isn't life in this championship. Kirkham's got the inside line of Phil Waters here. Crofty was looking at the outside. Hard braking into the hairpin, now onto the straight. Crofty's coming through on the inside from third position in class. He's got his nose ahead of Waters. He's on the right of the track. It's the outside as they come down towards Redgate. Alfred Piesinger wants a podium as well. The blue car. Crofty's got the lead incredibly from third place, but here comes Alistair Kirkham in 72. Alfred Piesinger is looking round the outside of Phil Waters, who had the class lead. Alfred nips back, cuts back for the inside line. Waters gets across, retains third place, but it's Adam Croft, the championship leader, by 10 points. He's going to extend that further in this race over Alistair Kirkham if he holds on to it. Meanwhile, back with the race leaders who continue to do their lapping. That's Linda Warren, 7th in the 924s that they've gone past, and Ed Hayes is still piling the pressure on. Hayes is in the 77 car, second position. Is he going to get a run out of the hairpin? Adam Southgate comes out wide. Here comes Ed Hayes having a go up to the flag, and they cross the line 0.2 of a second apart, with Adam Southgate taking the win. Ed Hayes is second. Following them across the line, Linda Warren. Third place goes to Gary Lawrence, followed by Richard Avery. Here come the 924s, Adam Croft. What a great battle we've seen here. It's not finished yet because we've got a great scrap on for third between Waters and Piesinger. Alfred Piesinger might have to rely on a run out of the final corner. They're coming down to that corner now. It's going to be Adam Croft, who is again going to pick up fastest lap in the 924s, and his sponsors sponsor that, so he's going to be taking home a nice bottle of wine for that, as is Adam Southgate, who got the fastest lap in the Boxsters. But the win in the 924s again goes to Adam Croft. Alistair Kirkham second. Philip Waters hangs on for third position ahead of Alfred Piesinger. Then it was Carl Rossin and David Jones. Well, terrific racing in both classes, and Adam Southgate in the 45 car takes his third win of the season, and that's going to help move him up the championship order. If he could replicate that, he might even go away with the championship lead. Southgate from Hayes and Lawrence, with Richard Avery fourth from Nick Hull, then James Coleman and Jason Flegg. Gary Goodwin in 8th from Andy Hack, Angus Archer 10th, and then it was Jason Yates and Mark Marshall. John Cleland sadly had a coolant link and did not finish. In terms of the 924s, it was another win for Adam Croft. Alistair Kirkham next up from Philip Waters and Alfred Piesinger. Carl Ross in 5th from David Jones. Linda Warren 7th, and Jamie Callender in 8th place.
Adam, you qualified on pole and also first on the podium. You and Ed Hayes had a bit of a battle between you, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, no, I was really happy to get the pole position. I think it was only 2 tenths between me and Ed on a 149. And then, yeah, the race was good. Got a good start, and that's a really important thing. My starts haven't been great this year, and Ed's haven't either, really. But both of us got a really good start and managed to pull away. And then it was a good battle for the whole race. I had a bit of a mistake about halfway through going into the chicane. kind of braked a bit too late, and Ed managed to catch right up on me. And he was great into the Melbourne loop as well, so it meant I had to defend quite a lot around the hairpins. But yeah, really good race, really happy.
Ed, a very close race for yourself and Adam Southgate, but you still ended up second on the podium.
Yeah, no, it was good fun. Track was a bit slippy, and I've noticed it here in the past. It was like someone had put mayonnaise down there or something, but yeah, no, it was a good race and kept close to him.
It is a boiling day today as well. How are you handling that in the car?
Getting very hot. The temperature in the car got really, really hot because I was right up behind him. Yeah, need to think about that.
What do you think you're going to do in race 2?
Same again, hopefully, but yeah, just look after the car a bit more.
Gary, fantastic result and third on the podium.
Yeah, I was sort of happy with that. Initially, I thought I was going to be able to sort of trouble the front two. For the first couple of laps, I thought, we might be able to do something. But to be honest, they just had the pace on me in this race. Set up, I think we can improve. I think that had something to do with it. But I think a lot of it was probably me. Sort of for the first half of the race, I was making some sort of silly mistakes, which I then sort of put right in the second half. So the second half was a better drive, definitely. The lads were really good in front, very tidy. Richard Avery behind me, he did his usual self. He was like all over the place. But that was quite fun to watch in my mirror. But no, overall, pretty good, and bodes well for tomorrow, hopefully. So.
Yeah, really happy. It was a great race earlier on, a race of 2 halves really, because we had a safety car part way through, so built up a nice lead from the start, and then from nowhere the guys behind caught up, and suddenly I was battling not with one of them but 2 of them, as both Alistair and Philip were really keeping me on my toes.
And coming round the hairpin, all 3 of you went round at the same time?
Yeah, that seemed to be the part of the track I was struggling with most. I seemed to be able to gap them a little bit for the around the rest of the track, but then they were just gaining loads on me at that part of the track, and it was pretty exciting. 3 abreast coming onto the start-finish straight. It was really entertaining.
It was a very interesting race, but you still took the lead.
Yeah, that's the important thing. Obviously, try and sort of keep that points lead going. But yeah, really entertaining race. Probably the best one of the season so far.
Welcome back to Donington Park. Pole position race 2. Adam Southgate from Ed Hayes, Gary Lawrence and Richard Avery, row 2. Then Nick Holt and James Coleman, Jason Flegg, Gary Goodwin, Andy Hack, Angus Archer, followed by Jason Yates and Mark Marshall. 924s, Adam Croft and Alistair Kirkham. Philip Waters now for Peasinger, Cole Rossin, David Jones, Linda Warren, Jamie Callender, Richard Matthews and Anthony McVinsky. Richard Matthews having cleared the electrical problem that he had in race number 1, and the lights go out. We are away here for our second of 3 races, and it's a great start again by Adam Southgate. This day 2 of the meeting, it's another birthday today, believe it or not. Ed Hayes is 39 years of age today. He's in second position. Gary Goodwin running well. Wide line there from James Coleman. He's got Gary Goodwin, yesterday's birthday man, up behind him as well, but it's Adam Southgate looking to make it 2 on the bounce. A cracking start from him. Richard Avery going a little bit wide out of Hollywood, and down the inside goes Jason Flegg, but Flegg can't do it. It's a good line from Avery around the old hairpin. He retains position. We've got James Coleman up behind them. Then we've got Andy Hack. This is the view from Hack in the 23 machine going along Starkey's up into Schwantz. Brake lights on from Coleman. There is Nick Hull chasing Gary Lawrence. Hull with the Union flag livery on the number 5. And he will want to get back into a podium position. He's potentially on for that here. He's got Richard Avery behind him. So Nick Hull into 4th place and challenging for 3rd, but it's Southgate and Hayes out front at the moment. Hull goes to the outside line, and he's got Richard Avery coming through on the inside in car with Richard Avery, squeezes through and gets ahead of Nick Hull, but Hull's going to repay the compliment. Great piece of racing here. Nick Hull back into 4th position as Adam Southgate leads down into the loop. Ed Hayes is second. Avery's going to come back again, dives out of the slipstream, under braking, passes Nick Hull. Oh, and Hull goes off on the grass. Nick Hull's on the grass now. He's going to recover. He's down with Gary Goodwin. So Hull from 4th position got punished for that one. Goodwin's up ahead of him. Hack is up ahead of him. Jason Flegg in the red and black car is there as well. Goodwin's having a look at Hack. Gets a nose up the inside. So Anthony McVinsky, after problems in race number 1, it was an alternator that became disconnected on the warm-up lap, you might remember, of race number 1. That has been fixed and he's in the mix, which is good to see, as the race leaders, a little bit of space developing between the top positions. That'll give us a little bit of breathing space at the moment, but you can expect Nick Hull, after his moment on the grass, he very clearly has the pace to be further up. So we'll see what he can do about Gary Goodwin. He had a touch on the grass there and Hull's off again. Through the gravel, the only consolation for Nick Hull is maybe going to be the reverse grid race a little bit later on, assuming he finishes, because you have to finish to take the reverse position on the grid. But Richard Avery, he dives down the inside, outbrakes himself, and James Coleman gets the position back. Avery needs to keep going, get it through the gravel and come back onto circuit. Richard Avery doesn't look too happy at the moment, does he? He wasn't a particularly quick return to the track. It was a bang, wasn't it? Into the back of James Coleman and into the gravel. And I'm wondering whether he did have a problem going into that corner. Alfred Piesinger in blue in the lead of the 924s. David Jones in 7, chasing Carl Rossin, with Philip Waters chasing him. And Waters was on a podium in the last race. Alistair Kirkham up ahead of Adam Croft. So Crofty might find himself off the top slot here. Remember, 10 points in the championship was the gap coming into the meeting. Crofty back up to second, and Alfred Piesinger the race leader. So Piesinger, look how close these lead 924s are. Absolutely incredible. We had a 4-car battle going on at the start as Mark Marshall pays a visit, a very quick visit. Into the tyres. Hate to see that. Mark Marshall, Donington very definitely bites if something goes wrong with the car, or indeed the driver. So Alistair Kirkham, 3rd position at the moment. You can see the dust from Mark Marshall's car, and hopefully Mark will be okay and come back and race it next time out at Cadwell Park. But it's Croft from Kirkham. Alfred Piesinger still in the lead in the blue car, and Alfred on his return to the championship, still looking for a first win. The damaged car, but Mark Marshall is okay, which is good to see. This is the battle for 4th place. Carl Rossin from David Jones in the 924s. Rossin 5th in the championship coming to this round. Nizar El Chamar, incidentally, had an engine failure in qualifying and has been unable to start the races. This is the view from Phil Waters, who is 4th in the championship and will pass Simon Hawksley in terms of points at this meeting. Down the exhibition straight, coming down in toward Fogarty's, and he has a look at the inside line. He was keeping it tight, but wasn't room ultimately for him to go through. And they're on to the GP loop now with Alfred Piesinger out front. Alistair Kirkham 2nd ahead of Adam Croft. Croft's got Carl Rossin in 41 all over the back of him, and then David Jones, Philip Waters, and really any one of those 6 could win. Here's Gary Lawrence up ahead of James Coleman. This is, I think, for 3rd or 4th position on track at the moment. Adam Southgate is still in the lead. We wait to see the leaders in shot a little bit later on. We've got Jason Flegg there as well. So Jason Flegg is going, and good move there on the inside by James Coleman, but Gary Lawrence is going to hold on to the inside line down to the last corner before they rejoin the main circuit, and he knows he's got that advantage, but very late on the brakes is James Coleman, but it doesn't work for him, and Gary Lawrence hangs on to 3rd place. Meanwhile, the 924 battle continues with Alfred Piesinger in the lead, but now under big pressure from Alistair Kirkham, the Manchester driver, chasing Alfred Piesinger, the Austrian. So Alfred maintains the lead, but he has been caught by Alistair Kirkham here. Piesinger's best result so far on his return, 2nd in class at Rockingham, and he's got 2 very fast drivers, 3 very fast drivers right behind him at the moment. So Alistair Kirkham still there in that 2nd position. Piesinger gets it all wrong and rejoins, and he's been passed by David Jones, who goes through as well. So it's Alistair Kirkham from Crofty, then David Jones in 3rd, and Alfred Piesinger got a wheel to the outside and a spin there as well at the hairpin. The Victoria Motorsport car is back in gear and running again. As look at the battle we've got for the lead. It was a cracker anyway, but it's Kirkham out front from Croft, and they look like the red arrows coming out of the last corner. This is incredible stuff from the 924s. And this could still be a standalone championship in its own right, but it's the class battle they're going for, and Adam Croft is there. Crofty has got the fastest lap in class once again. This is for 10th place overall, and it's Crofty out front with Alistair Kirkham chasing hard. David Jones back in that third position at the moment, although dropping away a little bit. Where's he gone? He's losing quite a lot of ground at the moment, David Jones, but Croft and Kirkham, what a superb battle between. Kirkham's on the grass, he's trying everything to go past. He'll lose momentum through that, and Adam Croft might be breathing a sigh of relief. Croft up into Schwantz. Here, though, is the race leader, Adam Southgate, who's going to make it a double here at Donington. Southgate leads. It's Ed Hayes in second position. Gary Lawrence is running in third place. It's been an action-packed race again from the Toyo Tires BRSCC Porsche Championship. And Adam Southgate is going to take his second win of the weekend. Now, is he going to get a good result in the reverse grid race and take the championship lead home with him? He's going to take the winner's silverware, though, for sure in race 2. There's the checker. Southgate wins. He's got the fastest lap as well. Ed Hayes will celebrate by taking second position on his 39th birthday. Gary Lawrence is going to be third. Jason Flegg's having a very good go here. Fleggy will take fourth place. He equals his best result from Zandvoort in the full race Boxsters. Here comes the leader of the Class C as we see it on the timing screen, the 924's Adam Croft is going to bag yet another win to his cannon to extend the championship lead. He's got his hand out of the window, he punches the air with delight, takes the win with Alistair Kirkham second. What has happened to David Jones? Because it's Phil Waters who comes through in third position. So Philip Waters gains another podium with Richard Matthews coming along behind, but the overall win going to Adam Southgate from Ed Hayes. Gary Lawrence in third, Jason Flegg fourth from Gary Goodwin, Andy Hack is sixth from James Coleman and Angus Archer. Nick Hull recovered for ninth place, then it was Jason Yates, and non-finish for Mark Marshall and also Richard Avery. In the 924s, Adam Croft takes the honours, Alistair Kirkham second from Phil Waters, Carl Ross in fourth, then Anthony Mekvinsky, Linda Warren sixth from Jamie Callender, and then Richard Matthews in eighth.
Adam, first place again. You're having such a fantastic weekend so far. Yeah,
it's been great, yeah. So, again, the lights to flag victory, and as planned, managed to pull away from Ed, and just kind of hold a gap. It was a bit of an easier race for me today. The other thing, weather's much colder today, so it's so much nicer in the cabin, much less moist. Yesterday was so sweaty, it was horrible. So yeah, really good day today. I had one little moment down at the old hairpin, just braked a little bit too late, got the car back end out, but dab of Oppo and I was away, it was good. Race 3, reverse grid, looked like it might rain this afternoon. That's going to be really interesting. I think Richard Avery didn't finish race 2, so it's going to be me, him and Ed at the back. So yeah, it's going to be a good battle in race 3.
Ed second on the podium again, but it was quite a lonely race for you.
It was, yes. Couldn't quite get as close to Adam as yesterday, but some ballast in there as well, 40 kilograms, and I had nothing yesterday. Plus we found a little bit of debris in the oil filter from a timing chain guide or something, so I had a bit mindful of that, but not giving it too much pain. But yeah, good.
Gary, third again on the podium, but it wasn't as tight as it was yesterday, was it?
No, I thought yesterday we'd make a couple of changes that would help. Went the wrong way, if I'm totally honest. The car was good sort of early, but yeah, it was a real struggle sort of from about halfway through the race. But no, it's much more interesting than yesterday. Certainly at the start, I mean, there were cars all over the place. So, but no, it was reasonable. I certainly drove better today, but luckily we've got another race, so hopefully I'll actually get us set up right this time.
Yeah, another great race. I mean, I thought yesterday's was good, but today's was just incredible with Alfred and Alistair all the way through. Alfred I thought I'd got a good start, but Alfred did a mega first lap and got past me. And then it was the three of us battling all the way through, really.
I know, and you weren't even checking your mirrors for Alistair Kirkham, he just raced past you.
Yeah, well, I think probably Alfred and myself were holding each other up a little bit, and then Alistair just came from nowhere and was suddenly there right in the mix, as he always is, to be fair.
And it was a great competition, and I mean, you still kept yourself first, though.
Yeah, I thought at one point that probably third was about the best I could hope for, but then managed to pull it back and just kept it on the track and came home first. I've got to say a massive thank you to my sponsors, Fine Drinks Cooperative and Champagne Warehouse. Been supporting me all season, brilliant support, I couldn't be doing it without them. And also the guys in the team, Tony, our tyre man, and Fudge from Victoria Garage, who are looking after the car. They've just done a fantastic job for me all season.
Welcome back to Donington Park. Nick Hull starts the reverse grid race on pole position with Angus Archer alongside. James Coleman is on row 2 of the Boxsters. And then on row 3, Gary Goodwin and Jason Flegg. They're followed by Gary Lawrence and Ed Hayes, the winner of the 2 races thus far, Adam Southgate. Then we've got Mark Marshall and Richard Avery. The 924s sees Richard Matthews on pole, Jamie Callender alongside, followed by Linda Warren and Anthony McVinsky, Carl Rossin and Phil Waters, Alistair Kirkham, Adam Croft and Alfred Piesinger. Sadly, no David Jones in this one. You saw him disappearing at the end of race number 2, and it was an engine failure for him, and he hasn't been able to rejoin us on the grid, so we hope he'll be back soon. The lights are out. Nick Hull makes a terrific start. Angus Archer in black and white is there as well. Andy Hack goes round the outside line. James Coleman in the Taylor Foundries rented car, black and green, is looking up the inside. Jason Flegg round the outside. Angus Archer looks a little bit overwhelmed by things. Ed Hayes is on the dirt, gets it all back on. The 924s come through the first turn as well. Obviously a little bit more frenetic being a reverse grid race, but on the whole all behave themselves well. They all know that they want to take the cars home and go to work on a Monday morning. That's the key thing with British club racing. So Philip Waters manages to stay in front of Adam Croft in 59. Alfred Piesinger is there with 72. Alistair Kirkham. Piesinger starting at the back due to the non-finish. So it's only the grid position only reversed if you're a classified finisher. So there is that idea to hold on. That's what Nick Hull did in race number 2. Had a few problems. Andy Hack is closing up on him, and you can see big sort out in these early stages. Ed Hayes and Adam Southgate very much at it. Southgate's up the inside. Hayes will tuck in behind him. Gary Lawrence, meanwhile, looking down the inside of James Coleman. Through goes the 45. Southgate passes Coleman as well. And now looking past Gary Lawrence too. Adam Southgate's on a mission here and he wants to take third place. They're coming down the straight. Richard Avery very wide behind him, trying to make up positions. But Nick Hull, the leader. Andy Hack in second place. And are we going to see a change for third into Redgate? Well, no, we're not at the moment. Gary Lawrence hangs on to third. Adam Southgate is in 4th position. But goodness me, working hard. It's physical racing here in the Toyo Tires BRSCC Porsche Championship. But up into third now does go Adam Southgate. He's had 2 fastest laps in class as well, 2 outright fastest laps, which net him the Fine Drinks Cooperative Fastest Lap Award. And incidentally, it's Adam Croft, who is sponsored by that company, who's taken the 2 fastest laps in the 924s. Carl Ross in there being chased by Phil Waters. We go in car with Philip Waters into Schwant's corner. Look how close they get. Phil making it look relatively simple and straightforward from inside, looking pretty cool, but it's Carl Ross in there in 41. Waters behind him. Then we've got the blue car of Alfred Piesinger, who's come through well. Alfred showing a great deal of pace so far this weekend. Started right at the back here in this reverse grid race. And Waters is going to have a go. He's challenging Carl Ross in. Now this is the inside line if we were on the club circuit here, or the national circuit at Donington. But it's the outside line down into the front. Yes, Piesinger's done both of them. Alfred Piesinger goes through into the class lead. Philip Waters maintains second position by virtue of passing Carl Rossin, who was the leader, and Carl Rossin is down to third. We've got Adam Croft and Alistair Kirkham, who have been tied together virtually all the meeting there. Anthony McVinsky in the new purple car at the back. He's not that far away from these guys, but what terrific racing we've had again from the 924s. This championship's been running for such a long time. Still popular, still produces great racing. Rossin looks up the inside of Adam Croft to try and get the position back. Meanwhile, it's Nick Hull still leading. Adam Southgate again has got the fastest lap, the Fine Drinks Cooperative fastest lap. Fastest lap with the 924s is with Crofty. Between them, they will have taken half a case away from the sponsors this weekend, and the others won't get a look in, although there was a tasting last night in the paddock. Oh, and off goes Avery. Richard Avery is off onto the grass. So Nick Hull, still the race leader, but chasing a hat-trick is Adam Southgate, who looks very determined as well. So Adam Southgate gets a faster line out of the hairpin. Nick Hull's hanging on to it. Hull wants another podium for sure. And he's got the inside line, but look at Southgate. He's got the power. Is he going to get his nose in front as they go down to Redgate, or is he going to realise there's a bit more time to do this? He has got the racing line into the corner, Adam Southgate. Nick Hull's going to go wide. Southgate's going to have a look up the inside as they come down into the craners. We wait for him to come through. Southgate's got the inside and the lead down through the craners. Nick Hull, well, he led well for those opening laps, but Southgate has come through from the back of the field. 2 wins so far. And a win in the reverse grid race is absolutely nothing to be sniffed at all. Southgate here will go away with the championship lead. He was third in the table coming to this meeting. Meanwhile, back to Phil Waters and Alfred Piesinger. Waters this time goes through the inside into the Fogarty S's, grabs the lead. Piesinger in second position. Adam Croft is there in third at the moment. Then we go back, you can see Alistair Kirkham and Carl Rossin in fifth position in class at the moment. Croft is on for another bottle of wine here, the same as Adam Southgate. And here they come down into the last corner. Piesinger chasing Philip Waters. Waters has worked hard for this. Reverse grid race or not, you've seen some hard battling in both classes. Crofty, third position. And this is good points for him in a reverse grid race. Realistically, it's great if you can get the win. Adam Southgate looks as if he might be on his way to that. But a podium for Adam Croft here is going to do his championship hopes no harm at all. Here he comes, challenging Piesinger down into Redgate with Philip Waters in front. Well, we're on to the last lap here of race 3, the reverse grid race. Nick Hull has dropped to third. Andy Hack is now challenging for the lead. So Hack, having been passed by Southgate earlier on, is having second wind and challenging the race leader, but loses a bit of ground through the Fogarty S's. You can see the race leaders going to be coming up to some backmarker traffic. They've dealt with some already. Nick Hull's got his lights on in third. Fourth place again is going to be Jason Flegg. He's becoming very consistent as well as fast in those top positions. But it's Adam Southgate who leads down into the final corner, and he's going to make it a Richard Styron style hat-trick here at Donington Park. Adam Southgate, maybe we should see if we can get Stiggy Styron back on track for a head-to-head between these two guys and all the other fast drivers that we've got. But it's the checkered flag for Southgate. Andy Hack takes a superb second position, backing up the second that he got at Rockingham. Nick Hull is on the podium again in third. Here come the 924s. The yellow car of Richard Matthews is the back marker, and it's Philip Waters still out front. Alfred Piesinger is second but runs wide, and Adam Croft's going to come up the inside, which is the outside for the next corner, and Piesinger will know that, and he'll hang on to the inside line. He wants to be challenging the race leader, and he'll be looking to see if Waters makes a mistake, but Waters doesn't make a mistake through the last corner, and it's about the run to the flag. Philip Waters is going to take his first win of the 2015 season in the 924s, and does so with Alfred Piesinger holding on for second. Adam Croft is third, with Alistair Kirkham taking fourth place. Richard Matthews in yellow was the back marker. He takes eighth place in class. But Adam Southgate takes a hat-trick today, and here's confirmation of the result. Southgate from Hack, Nick Hull third, then Jason Flegg and James Coleman, Gary Lawrence from Ed Hayes and Richard Avery, Gary Goodwin ninth from Angus Archer, Mark Marshall is in 11th place. Philip Waters wins the 924s from Alfred Piesinger. Adam Croft had 2 wins and a third place, a podium for him. Alistair Kirkham next from Carl Rossin, Anthony McVinsky, Jamie Callender and Richard Matthews.
Adam, you must be the happiest person at the circuit today. I mean, 3 wins in the weekend.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a fantastic weekend. I think I got 3 fastest laps as well, so it's maximum points. I couldn't be happier.
No, and what are you going to do with the wreaths now? All three of them? You obviously can't all wear all of them.
This is it. I think one will go around my dartboard, and I'll give one to each of my sponsors. Ava's Consulting in Takad. They've been great, supported me this weekend as well. It's quite local. They've been here to watch me win, which has been fantastic. Couldn't have gone better.
Yeah, fantastic idea, and nice to give something back to the sponsors as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They do so much for us, and the championship as well. We've got a lot of sponsors here, and yeah, we need to give them something back. I might even give them a trophy if they're really lucky.
How was that race different to the second one?
Well, starting from 9th place, I think it was, 5th row. So really in the reverse grid, it's all about just not making a mistake at the start and letting kind of the first corner carnage play itself out. And luckily Ed Hayes and Rich Avery both got caught up in it with my two main competitors. I could just sneak through. And from then on it was really just a case of trying to make up place in the race. It was supposed to rain, the forecast said, so I'd actually put a wet setup on the car as well. So the car wasn't handling great, so really happy to be able to bring it home in first place. It was great.
Andy, absolutely fantastic race. Second race in this car and obviously second on the podium.
That's right, second time, well, this weekend is our first weekend with this car. It's going really well. We're dialing it in a bit, it'll soon get better, but no, great result, great podium.
And a completely different race to yesterday's, obviously, as well.
Totally different for yesterday. We had some issues with the car yesterday, no brakes, couldn't find second gear. It's got better and better. The more we work with the car, we'll be up the front. We improved that this afternoon with Adam. We could live with Adam and nearly nicked the win off of him. So.
Nick, a fantastic result, third place, and that's your third in 2 weekends. I mean, it looks like Zandvoort give you some luck.
Yeah, it was fabulous. Yeah, I mean, the car was it just went fantastically. Unfortunately, it just went off towards the end. I lost the clutch, so the pedal. I was having to pull the pedal back up with my foot, and then it just cooked the brakes. But yeah, I'm dead chuffed with the third. That's you know, it's as good as a win to me as that.
Philip, all the hard work's paid off, and you've just come first win in the season, I believe.
Yeah, it is. I have come first once before last year in Zolder, but that was I lucked into that. But this is my first proper win where I've beaten everybody because my pace was better, and it feels fantastic.
And you've had a lot of support along the way, haven't you, as well?
Yeah, this is my first competitive year, really. The 3 years I've done it before this, I've been sort of messing around in the dark. But Clive Morrison of Moloto.com has prepared the car, built the engine, set the car up, comes to me with all the races, gets my head in the right place, you know, because as an old boy I need all that help. And he's just the business. He really is fantastic.
So can we see you on the podium for the rest of the season then?
Oh, I hope so. I'm trying to win every race. I'm trying to win every race, get pole position and get fastest lap, but then so is everybody else.
So leaving Donington Park, Adam Southgate takes the championship lead from Ed Hayes, Richard Avery third from Gary Lawrence, Nick Hull fifth and Jason Flegg in sixth position. James Coleman seventh from Andy Hack in eighth. In the 924s, Adam Croft leads from Alistair Kirkham and Phil Waters up to third. Carl Rossin is up to fourth ahead of Nizar El Chamar and Simon Hawksley in sixth.
Once again, it has been a fantastic weekend here at Donington Park for the BRSCC Toyo Tires Porsche Championship. I'm Amber Ray. Join us next time at Cadwell Park to watch Ed Hayes and Adam Southgate continue their championship battle.